how can you make your site appear first on Google?
So Google just put out a video teaching everyone SEO. This is a less than 4-minute video, and it talks about all the techniques you can use to optimize your website, be Google compliant, and hopefully never be hit by by a Google algorithm update. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. And as an SEO, it's very interesting. I'd like to share it with you in my comments about the video.
How Google decides which results to show you when you type in the most random question, which results will appear on the top of the first page and which on the bottom of the 12th page. Well, Google tries to read every page on the web, index them according to their content, and then rank them in search results, according to features like quality and relevancy to the given search.
Okay, so the first tip these Google experts have is that you need to create very simple content, and you need to make sure that your content is, well, they allude to this, it should be keyword optimized, but they tell you should just go to Google search and just type in, and then whatever Google recommends, you should optimize your content for those keywords or related keywords.
First tip, of course, is to create useful and information-rich content. Keep your content clear and simple while describing the heart of each page accurately in frequent headings and subheadings. Otherwise, Google may not understand your content correctly and not show it as a search result.
Now, I give Google credit for being smart, but Google is not that smart. Google does not read every page on the internet, and I know this for sure because I have many websites and I manage many websites. Google does not read and does not have the capacity or the ability to read every web page on the internet. And add to that the fact that there are so many websites in Chinese and Arabic, in so many other languages that Google does not entirely understand. Google mainly understands English, and that's the website that those websites are probably what Google is reading. But even from that, Google is just reading a fraction of those websites, and the AI does not understand much. I have countless examples of websites ranking right now that are using black hat techniques, some of which I mentioned in one of my videos earlier, and they're doing perfectly. So if you take this advice and you just create great content, simple content with H1 and H2 headers, trust me, it's not going to rank.
Don't just copy content from other websites, because Google will easily recall reading it before and draw conclusions about the amount of value your content can bring as a search result. Think of yourself as a user. Don't you hate it when the top 3 search results repeat each other?
Okay, so what this Google representative is saying is you need to create content that's original, and I agree with that. Your content needs to be very original. It needs to pass copy escape, any plagiarism checker. But can Google tell if your copy is duplicate? Yes, Google can tell. Google can tell if there are similarities between what you've written and other articles on the internet, especially if your content is in English. If your content is in German, for instance, and I've experimented with this, even if you copy and paste content, there's a 90% chance Google does not understand what the hell is going on. So if your content in English, yes, Google can tell that it's duplicate content.
You want other people to recommend your content and even link to it on their sites. External links to your site will give Google more context about your content, which in turn can help in showing it to relevant audiences. You can achieve that by collaborating with other creators or by building yourself as a source of knowledge. For example, if you're writing a travel blog, ask the last place you wrote about to feature a link to your post on their website. Be creative.
And the second thing this guy talks about is that you shouldn't buy links. Now, I'm not entirely against buying links, but I do not recommend that people go out and just buy links without understanding how they work. But if you just if you're someone that was just starting out, who's starting a blog or who's starting a website, no one really knows you in the industry. Who are you going to reach out to? I've done outreach. I still do outreach for a lot of my clients. 99% of the emails that we send out, we just do not get a response. Either because the person that got the email, they read the email and said, all right, this is a very small website, we have nothing to do with these guys, and we want nothing to have to do with these guys. So if you reach out to an industry leader, and for instance, if you have a website that reviews mobile phones, and you reach out to Samsung, there's a very good chance that Samsung doesn't care because your website doesn't even receive 15 to 20 visitors a day. Even if you received like 50,000 visitors a day, Samsung doesn't really care about that. So if this is an approach you're gonna take, it's not gonna work. You're gonna have to initially buy links, and you're gonna have to know what you're doing to buy the right type of links, and then that's how SEO works. Obviously, this guy does not know what he's talking about.
And this just might be the most important one. Try to think what the optimal audience for each piece of your content is likely to search on Google, and use that in your title and in your text. This is what we call keywords, and instead of guessing them on your own, you can try using Google Trends or the Google Ads Keyword Planner. Each of these tools can provide you helpful information like the most popular searches for each topic according to language and region, or the trends in search volume for a certain search word over time, so that you can focus on the most visible keywords.
So this third tip is one that I agree with Google on, and I agree that this is how part of your keyword research or even your topical research should be done. You should use Google Trends and Google AdWords, Ads Manager, and you should use Google Search to kick off your topical analyses for a niche, and then you'll have to use other tools that make it a lot easier to do your keyword research. So this shouldn't be your end-all be-all, but this is definitely a great place to start.
Content for readers and not for search engines, because when the only purpose of your content is to be found on Google, people quickly realize that, and Google will too.
So the fourth and final tip I agree with too. Yes, you should create content for readers. Readers first and search engines later on, because readers are going to be people who are recommending your content, sharing your content on Facebook, and the bots really don't read through your entire content, even though he's contradicting himself by saying that you should write for readers, when in fact he's initially said that Google can read your content. So if Google can read your content, and you also want to create some content for Google. But I digress. You should create content for readers, and I think this is a great tip for SEO content. The score does not matter. The score matters to a point, but does not matter to the extent that you should compromise readability and the context of the content just to hit that score. So this is something I agree with. So guys, if you like the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. My next video is going to be about programmatic SEO. I've been experimenting with programmatic SEO lately. Many people have been talking about it as well. I've been experimenting with it since November last year, and I had my thoughts about programmatic SEO, and I think a lot of people will find this interesting, especially people who want to start to doing programmatic SEO to make money online.